Welcome, everybody. Happy anniversary. Welcome to your 25th anniversary celebration. My name is Christy Yeager. I'm the Public Information Officer for the City of Oklahoma City, and I'll be your MC today. The Oklahoma Municipal League sponsors the Honor Roll of Service ceremony for cities and towns throughout Oklahoma. Each year they honor municipal employees statewide who reach the 25-year service milestone. The City of Oklahoma City is proud to add 96 employees to the roll this year. Will all the honorees please stand up so we can recognize you? Today we're here to honor and thank you for your commitment and accomplishments over the past 25 years. Your 25th anniversary is the perfect time to reflect on your career, the positions that you've had, the projects that you've completed, and the coworkers and the supervisors that have influenced you. We thought it'd be fun to ask employees about the more memorable work experiences they've had. So here's what they've said.
And then one of my memories in that job in the police department, for a few months I had to work graveyard shift, midnight to 8 a.m. And every morning whenever I would leave at 8 a.m., MT Barry was always there saying good morning to us. And so I have that memory of MT and that job at the police department. And then I was there for just a few months before I didn't want to work midnight to 8 anymore. And so I moved to an 8 to 5 job in the personnel department.
It was the unknown. I didn't have any knowledge of law enforcement. None of my family is in law enforcement, and all I knew is what I'd seen on television and movies. And my first day was not like that at all. I was scared and nervous. Everyone was so nice the first half of the day. Everyone. Larry Kettler, Brian Williford, and Rhett Brotherton. So nice. After lunch, they changed into something else. And they were very, very mean, and they were yelling and screaming, and I felt like I was in military boot camp, and I had to get in the forward leaning rest position and do push-ups in a dress, and it was just chaotic, and it was nothing like I thought. Yeah. But I wanted more of it, and I stuck it out.
My first day was neighborhood services, and it was in the basement of the Civic Center along with personnel and Parks and Recreation, and I believe risk management was there too. And I didn't realize the homelessness that was in the area. I remember going to the restroom, which was upstairs, and I heard a lady singing, and I just thought it was a coworker. And it was Miss Maggie, whom I found out. She came out of the stall, stark naked, asked me for wet wipes and deodorant, and scared me to death. So I ran down the stairs and said, "There's a homeless lady that's naked in the bathroom." They said, "Oh, you'll be fine. That's just Miss Maggie." I know.
So you had to hunt down some deodorant?
No.
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 She was on her own.
She was on her own then, yeah.
Probably one of my favorite memories was when I was an intern. We had an investigator in our office who was an older gentleman who also worked on the police department way back when. And we had to investigate claims. And at that time, it didn't matter if it was a trash can that got squished by the trash truck or a pothole. We had to go and investigate. And Don would take us around to different parts of the city, and along the way, as you were investigating, he would always have a story about back in the day when he was a police officer. And I remember going to Deep Deuces and talking about the gambling halls and so forth that were there, and back when it was County Line, how they had trap doors in that building so that when they went in to do raids for gambling, they would go down into the basement and then escape through the basement down the hill to avoid being captured. So,
one of my favorite memories is I got to deliver a baby. and that was kind of cool. I mean, because you'll never forget that. And of course, it was at our we get off the rig, and we knew exactly, it was an apartment complex. We knew exactly where to go because we could hear Mama hollering, and we get there, and the baby was coming, and so it was kind of cool. I got to be there, and I was in charge, and I got to deliver the baby, and of course I was happy to see a head instead of a foot or a hand like that. So thank the Lord, it was smooth. Everything went smooth, and I rode with the mother back to the hospital, and I kept up with the baby. They named it Tristan, and I kept up with the baby up to, I think he was about 15 years old, and I think then they moved off to another state. I haven't seen him or heard from him since, but that was pretty cool. And I had a daughter about his same age. He was a little older, but I had a daughter about the same age, so I know how old he is. So he'll be 23 this year. So.
Oklahoma City is just a great place. You know, I've been married for 28 years. Been here. I've raised both of my kids here. You won't find people like you find in Oklahoma City anywhere else in the world. I've traveled all over teaching. You know, going to schools, teaching schools. Oklahoma is just a different culture, different environment. It's special. You know, there's the, you know, people have, they say there's the Sooner mentality, and there's a lot to be said for that. You know, Oklahoma City is unique in that where we have our differences, we all come together because we are Oklahomans and we love the place we live in. So I stayed with Oklahoma City because it's such a great community, a great city. You know, the things they've done, you know, building up Bricktown. You know, when I came on the department, Bricktown was a broken down area, abandoned buildings and a dump. Now you look at what it's become, and you look at, you know, the park in downtown and the revitalization. You know, it's a very progressive environment, and it's just fun to be a part of it, especially from the law enforcement standpoint of, we know we play a core function in helping bring that along as well.
It does. It just feels like I'm just beginning. Yeah. It really does. I'm still learning, and I don't even, my perspective is, it is what you make it, and I don't feel like I'm working. I just feel like it's just being at home, and I could do this forever. I know I can't, but I feel like at this point, this is just the beginning, and I'm still very full of energy, still want to help, still want to do, but it's not like I've worked for 26 years. I've enjoyed my position helping Oklahoma City for 26 years. I had a partner. I've had several female partners, and when we would go to calls, we would be confused for being in the entertainment industry. Oh, no. And they wouldn't take us quite as serious, even though we had police cars and everything. Yeah. So the reception that we would get sometime is very funny. They do not take us seriously, yeah, and think that maybe, you know, our uniforms probably have a different way of exiting. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's always funny when someone doesn't believe that I'm a real Oklahoma City police officer.
Funny story was when we were doing storm work one night, we got the call at 5 o'clock, loaded all of our equipment up for 2 poles that had been snapped by high winds. So we go out and it starts raining. We worked all night long till 7 a.m. in the morning. And exactly the time when we flipped the switch to turn the intersection back on, sun came out and quit raining. So it rained on us all night.
Until you were finished.
Yeah, until we were finished. And then at one point, sprinklers came on. So it wasn't bad enough we were getting rained on, then when the sprinkler system came on.
Double rain.
Double rain. So it was a good time though.
Yeah.
I'd been on probably less than a year. It was early 1995. I got a call, received a call from dispatch about a young girl calling in saying her grandmother had passed away. So I was right around the corner, so I actually got there before the IMSA units and fire paramedics showed up. So when I show up, there's about a 10 or 12-year-old girl in front of the house that was upset. You know, I approached her, said, "Hey, stay right here, I'll be right back. Let me go check." So, you know, I want to go check to make sure there's no, what the condition is, make sure there wasn't something that happened, a crime scene. So I go in, you know, there's an elderly lady, and I guess her grandmother had been raising her. Elderly lady laying on the bed, and looked very peaceful. You know, I assumed from the call that, you know, she had passed away. So I go up and I check for a pulse on her wrist. I don't get one. So just one more time, you know, I don't see her breathing. So I go up to check her carotid artery pulse. And about the time I put my fingers on her neck, her eyes came open, she screamed, I screamed. I jumped back probably 10 feet out the door. It scared me, and come to find out, Grandma had a cold. She'd taken some Benadryl and was a very heavy sleeper. Granddaughter couldn't get her to wake up. She was actually alive all along, just taking a very good nap. So it was kind of interesting, you know, in my career, not only being, you know, in law enforcement, being a police officer, a coach, you know, a social worker, all the things we are, but I never thought I'd have the title of being able to bring somebody back from the dead.
Let's give our video personalities a hand, please. It takes a lot of courage to get up and tell stories like that, so thank you. I was looking at the average time that an average person is married, and that is usually 8 years. So your tenure with the city is much longer than most marriages. So feel good about yourself. Maybe this is your lifelong marital issue here. So, but we're glad to have you. We're a match made in heaven, hopefully, for you. When an organization has experienced employees like you, those employees carry value that simply can't be replaced. You have extensive knowledge of our city processes, our unique history, and perhaps most importantly, you know where all the minefields are. You also have relationships that you've built over many years, and that can't be duplicated. In case you were wondering, our city manager, Craig Freeman, is close to you in his tenure. You started with the city in 1992, right? And he started as a technician in the budget office. So he started at the very bottom of the budget office and clawed his way to the top, right? Now I'd like to ask Mr. Freeman to come up and say a few words.
Well, thank you all. I've got a script, and I'm going to do my best to say all the things I'm supposed to say, but I'm not really good at following a script, so bear with me here. But I did, like Christy said, I started here in 1992, so really similar to you. A couple years ago, I was at this ceremony on the other end of it, and when I started with the city, I don't know what your experience is, but when I started with the city, I thought I would come here, get some experience, and then go out and work somewhere else. I didn't expect to be here long. But I didn't work here very long before I realized just the professionalism, the integrity, the commitment, the passion, the culture that was in the city, and I knew I wanted to be a part of that. And so it wasn't long before I started looking around, and it was like in every department I went to, I saw that over and over again, that I realized this is a place that I would love to call home. This is a place where I'd like to make a career. And so it really is people like you and you that help convince me that this is the place to be. And I feel like, you know, culture, being with an organization 25 years, the culture of the organization molds you and affects you, but at the same time, you're a part of that culture and contributing to that culture. And I mean, I recognize with 4,800 employees that we have areas that we have challenges that we've got to continue to work on. But as a whole, I believe it's your contribution to the culture of this city that makes that culture what it is and makes Oklahoma City what it is. So I'm really grateful for your contribution and what you've done for our city. I really do appreciate that. You know, you think back, earlier this week, the mayor did his State of the City address. And I always love going to hear that. Mayor does a great job with it, first of all, but I love to go and hear that because I can always look at it and see what all of us together collectively do to contribute to that, where he's looking back on the accomplishments of the city. And you think over 25 years, the accomplishments that you've seen from the city as a whole and for you personally and professionally, just how much difference you've been able to make and how you've been able to contribute to this city. And how important that is. And the mayor, as he's reflecting back, one of the things he said in his speech is he talked about you. He talked about how important the employees of this city are to the success of this city. We can build arenas and we can build roads and do all these great things, but without the service that you provide every single day, we don't get to be a successful city. We don't get to be a city that's moving in the right direction. He quoted a couple of statistics out of our resident survey that we do every year, and one of them was 76% of those who were surveyed said the city's moving in the right direction. And that has a lot to do with the business community, with what's happening with big projects we're doing, but it has a significant amount to do with what you all do every single day. Another statistic that I'm really proud of, it's a little bit lower number, but I'm really proud of this for you all and being a part of this, is 64% of our residents are satisfied with the overall services they receive from the city. And you listen to that and you kind of put that in context of going to school and you're going, ooh, 64%, that isn't so good. It doesn't sound great until you hear that 64% satisfaction with overall services is 16% above the national average for large cities. So generally people have kind of a negative connotation, I think, when they look at government, but it's people like you and the way that you serve that changes their perspective. And I'm just grateful for what you do, and I think every one of you should be proud of what you do where you are, but how much of a difference you make in this city. And the fact that 76% of the residents think we're moving in the right direction, you're a big part of that, and so I really appreciate that. You've worked in those 25 years through some of the greatest things we've seen. Don, I think, mentioned that when you come to the city 25 years ago, you think about what downtown looked like or Bricktown looked like. You think about where we were as a city at that time. The MAPS projects had just been approved just before you came on, or around the time that you came on, and you think about what the city looked like compared to where we are today. And then you can stop and think about, when we took that first step with the MAPS program especially, it was a step for the city saying, we're not going to be worried about what we're not or what we don't have or what other cities have that we don't have. We're going to be focused on being the very best Oklahoma City we can be. And that's exactly what you all do every day when you come to work, looking at what you can do, how you can serve, how you can better serve our residents, and you do it every single day. And that's what makes the difference in this city. That's what's made Oklahoma City a great place to live, a great place to work, a great place to play. And for us as an organization, it makes Oklahoma City a great place to work because you love working next to people who value excellence in the work that they do. And so you all are a big part of that culture. You've helped to build that. And I just want to say thank you for what you've done. When you all first came to work here, Don Bound was our city manager. And following him in 1998 was Glenn Deck. And I was really sorry to hear recently of Glenn's passing. And was actually able to go to his funeral and visit with his family a little bit and talk about what a difference Glenn made in my life. And he was a finance director when I was working in the budget office, and he's made such a difference here as city manager and as finance director because he contributed to that culture. And there's things we do today in our work that's a result of his influence. And I got to believe that's the same kind of thing that you're doing where you work. That there's things that happen and things that we do in the areas where you work that are better because of what you've done and the difference you've made. Jim Couch followed Glenn. Jim's a legend and city manager. He's 18 years as city manager. I wish he was here right now so he could have this job and he could do this and I could work for him again because he did such a great job for us. He did such a great job for us. But following along in that and continuing that process for us, and we've really been blessed to have strong leadership both with the city manager we've had in the past, with leaders we've had within the organization, with our elected officials too. In the time period since 1994, since you all started, we've only had 4 mayors. And we had Ron Norick was in 1994, Kirk Humphreys was 1998 to 2003, Mayor Cornett was from 2004 and then served 14 years. And then in 2019, starting in 2019, we now have Mayor Holt. But the support we have from our elected officials is really a blessing to us. And they just have so much confidence. When we get new elected officials come in, it's always fun to me because they come in with this idea that, we're going to be working around government workers and it's kind of like second level. And every one of them to a person when they come is impressed with the professionalism, the integrity, just the culture of excellence that they see that you all provide, whether it's someone they work with directly here at City Hall and people that come before council, or as they get a chance to get out and visit and see the work that you all do. So thank you all so much. I just wish you would join me again in showing our appreciation for these folks who've served 25 years for the city. So a quick look back, right? I'm supposed to do this. No, you're good. You can stand right there because I'm not going to take long with this. National news, Bill Clinton started his first term as president Tanya Harding was another name, really famous name you'd want to be associated with. 1994, had a little run-in with Nancy Kerrigan. O.J. Simpson fled in his white Bronco. Lisa Marie Presley married Michael Jackson. The top song of the year was The Sign by Ace Bass. Janet Jackson and Boyz II Men were hot bands. Top movies from that time were, you tell me what the movie is. My mama said that life is like a box of chocolates. What was that? Forrest Gump, top movies. True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Mask, Jim Carrey, Speed featuring Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. This one was amazing to me. The average monthly rent at that time was $533. It's like, man, you can't find that today. Well, you can probably, but you're going to get to be in a cardboard box. I mean, it's a gallon of gas was $1.09. A movie ticket was $4. Now you got to sell your soul to go to the movies. So a lot of things have changed in that time. And a lot of things have changed in this city, both physically and the way that we've grown as a city, but a lot of things have changed in the city organization. And again, I just want to say from my heart, thank you for what you all do and the way that you serve. When I look at this job and was considering applying for the job, it scared me. I mean, it made me nervous to think, Jim did such a great job for us and those before him, and I just felt like the job is bigger than me, and it is. It is. I realize it every day, but when I stopped and thought about you all and thought that it's not one person doing this, it's 4,800 people working together to do this, to serve our residents, that you all gave me confidence to come and do this job because of the great work you do. So thank you for all that you do. And thank you for being here to be recognized today.
It sounds like Craig is recruiting you for another 25 years, actually. So we also have another guest here. It's Mike Fina. Mike is the president of the Oklahoma Municipal League, and I'm going to invite him up to say a few words now.
Hey, everybody. I really love coming to these events. It's one of the, I think I say this every time I go to one of these, and I probably said it the last 2 years here, but this is one of the best parts of my job is to come hand out these awards. And it's even better here because this is my hometown, so I'm really excited to be able to do this for you guys. Last year I had a great story about my trash cart getting crashed and you guys taking care of it. I don't have one of those stories this year, so I brought something else to talk to you guys about. It was actually the first time I did the Oklahoma City 25-year awards, and Christy had a narrative and said, and your names are registered in a book at OML. And I thought, yeah, sure it is. And I had no idea. So I had to go back to OML and say, where is this book that has everybody's names in it? And it did exist, but it was a book that was about this thick, and it was a 3-ring binder, and we just added people's names to it. Now, the outside of it looked kind of nice, but the inside I wasn't very impressed with. So I said, we're going to do something different because this is really important. So starting last year, we actually now publish a book with everybody, all the past 25-year award winners, and we update it every year. So I brought it so you guys could see that, yeah, we do what we say we could do, and actually it looks pretty cool too, so I'm pretty proud of what we did here. So I'm going to have it up here if anybody wants to thumb through it. There's a lot of pages of Oklahoma City folks in here. So, okay, so here's what I want to leave you with. I do this all over the state. I get to visit the largest city here and some of the smallest cities. And there's some things that I've come to learn about our municipal professionals. First of all, I have not done one of these in 3 years where I did not hand out a 25-year pin to either a police officer or firefighter. I find that pretty amazing. Every time I go, there's at least one, and usually it's both. And I think that just speaks to how dedicated our men and women in uniform are to our municipalities across the state. So I just want to thank you guys for what you do. My dad was a firefighter, so I have a lot of respect already. But I get to see firsthand how great our public safety is, and then just our municipal professionals in general. It doesn't matter if it's Oklahoma City or Wagner, where I was at the last time. You guys all share a very similar quality. You're committed to your communities, you're committed to your municipality, and you do great work. I'm in awe of what we do. It doesn't matter in the largest city or the smallest city. You guys do a great job. So I'm going to give you one piece of homework. When you leave here tonight, when you leave work, and you step out the door there, just take a second and look at this awesome downtown that we have, how vibrant it is and everything that's going on. Craig is an incredible leader. Mayor Holt is an incredible mayor. They could not make this city run the way that it does without all of you. You're the ones that make this city run. And it is not easy to, one, create such an incredible city, and two, provide the level of service that you provide and really make it a great quality of life. And I can say that with confidence because I live here and I know. So from the Municipal League, I just want to thank you guys for your service, and keep up the great work because you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Honorees will receive a certificate, a lapel pin, a photo, and a congratulatory letter from Mr. Freeman. Your name will be added to the book. The book's right there at the Municipal League, and that's located at Northwest 23rd and Walnut. You're still there? Right next to the Capitol. So we're going to start with Development Services, and the department director is Mr. Bob Teener. And our honoree is Robert Rowe, who is a code technician. Thank you. Next is the Finance Department. And representing the department director, we have Assistant City Manager Kenny Sudel. And our honoree today is Amy Simpson, our purchasing agent. Next up is the Fire Department, led by Chief Richard Kelly. The first person that we're going to honor is Major Randy Gonzalez. This next person has his own fan club here, and he is Major Kevin Krause. I will say Christopher McKenzie is also on the list. He is a senior dispatcher, but he's not here today because he's getting married. Yeah, and you know what? His wife is presenting him with his pin and his certificate at his wedding. I think it's awesome. Joe Smith, come on up. Come on down. Paul Bronson is the Director of General Services Department, and we're honoring Philip Bennett, who is a skilled trades worker. Congratulations. The next department is Information Technology. The director is Shad Meldrum. And our honoree is Teresa Hockenberry, who is a Systems Analyst 2. We also have from IT, Dina Moore, who is a Systems Support Specialist, too. From the Municipal Counselors Office, we have Wiley Williams, who is sitting in as the director, and he's also an honoree today. And Wiley not only has 25 years of service, but he's actually got 29 years. Is that right, Wiley? 30. 30 years because he had 5 years previous to, you worked here 5 years and then you foolishly left, right? And then came back. So, did you leave for pharmacy school though? Oh, okay. Okay, he left for another city. That's even worse. So Wiley is not only one of our municipal counselors, but he's also a pharmacist. So that you know of. Also from the Municipal Counselor's Office with 25 years of service is Jamie Blocker, who is an Assistant Municipal Counselor 3. And I know Mark Cranenberg's here to see you get your pen too, by the way. Congratulations, Jamie. From the police department, we have Police Chief Wade Gorley here. Is this your first year to do this? Oh, congratulations, he's new. He's our new chief. I'd like to ask Captain Taylor Den to come up, please. Is there anyone else from the police department here with whom? Come on up. Who is it? Don Martin. Oh, hey, Don. That's okay. You're a star of a video. You don't have to respond. Anyone else from police? Oh, we've got, yes. Come on down. Another star, another video star. Kamel, okay. Next is the Public Works Department. Oh, another one, yay! Anyone else from police? Going, gone. Okay, now, Public Works Department. Eric Winger is the department director. And the first person we'd like to bring up to be honored is Patty Butenhoff. I think Patty's got the best shoe collection of anybody in the city. Next, I'd like to invite Lucretia Smith to the front. Yeah, you brought your friends, didn't you? Oh yeah, we've got a lot of cameras going on here. Congratulations. And last from the Public Works Department is Thomas Torrance. Right over there. Congratulations. Our very last department is the Utilities Department. The director is Chris Browning. And our first honoree is Lee Booth, Customer Service Superintendent. The next person is Sharshonda Burton. Okay, well, last but not least, we have Daryl Ross, who is a utilities project planner. All right, thanks to everybody for coming today. Enjoy your afternoon.